Do you ever wake up with a nagging sense that something's missing, no matter how full your life seems? Let me share 3 life-changing words from Padre Pio that could finally bring you the peace you've been searching for. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you wake up with a feeling of unease, as if something is incomplete in your life? Today I'm going to share with you 3 powerful words that Padre Pio revealed we should say before going to bed. These words can completely transform your life. If you're seeking true peace and protection, you need to hear this before it's too late. Padre Pio, known for his profound wisdom and special connection with God, left us this teaching that many are unaware of and that unfortunately we ignore every night. Quick challenge. If you're seeking true peace, comment 1 and like this video. Stick around to the end for a revelation that'll blow your mind. These 3 simple words have the power to transform your rest, your awakening, and your entire life. If you feel that worries overwhelm you or that something is missing in your spiritual life, this message is especially for you. Before revealing these 3 transformative words, I want you to know that thousands of people have already experienced significant changes in their lives by following this practice of Padre Pio. It's no coincidence that you're seeing this video right now. If you believe in the power of Padre Pio's teachings, write in the comments, "I'm ready to receive this blessing." What I'm about to share with you isn't just empty words. They are 3 specific actions that Padre Pio taught us, backed by years of spiritual experience and testimonies of transformation. Each of these words has a special purpose, and when you say them before going to bed, you open the doors to extraordinary protection in your life. Before continuing, click subscribe and activate the notification bell. Why? Because every week I reveal powerful secrets like this that can change your life. Don't miss any of these special messages that are helping thousands of people. Worries, stress, and problems can seem heavier at night. But after learning and applying these 3 words from Padre Pio, you'll notice an immediate difference in your life. Your rest will be deeper, your awakening more hopeful, and your days will be filled with a new light. Throughout his life, Padre Pio dedicated himself to helping people find a path to peace and protection. Among his many teachings, one stands out especially: the importance of our last words before going to sleep. This practice I'm about to share with you has the power to transform not only your nights, but every aspect of your life. Many of us lead fast-paced lives, rushing from one place to another, facing constant challenges: work, family, responsibilities. Everything piles up in our minds. When night comes, Padre Pio perfectly understood this daily struggle. He observed how his followers, people like you and me, carried heavy worries until bedtime. Have you ever wondered why so many people wake up tired despite sleeping enough hours? Or why some mornings you wake up with a heaviness in your heart? Padre Pio discovered that this happens because we don't properly close our day. It's like leaving the door of your house open at night. Anything can come in. The 3 words Padre Pio taught us act like a master key that locks the doors to negativity and opens the portals to protection. They aren't magical words, but concrete actions that, when done sincerely, have the power to transform our nighttime experience and consequently our entire life. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a room. During the day, this room fills up with all sorts of objects: worries, fears, joys, hopes. When night comes, we need to tidy this room before resting. The 3 words of Padre Pio are like a way to perfectly organize this inner space. The moment before going to sleep is especially powerful because it's when our subconscious is most receptive. Padre Pio knew that the last words and thoughts we have before sleeping continue working in our spirit throughout the night. That's why he insisted so much on the importance of this moment. Before revealing these 3 transformative words, I want you to understand something crucial. Their power doesn't lie in simple mechanical repetition. Padre Pio emphasized that they must come from the heart with sincerity and true intention. Only then can they manifest their full power in your life. The first word Padre Pio taught us to say before going to bed is thanks. But it's not about a simple, superficial thank you. Padre Pio showed us that there's a special way of giving thanks that has the power to completely transform our lives while we sleep. When we give thanks before going to bed, we're acknowledging all the good that exists in our lives, even amidst difficulties. Padre Pio explained that many times we focus so much on our problems that we forget to see the blessings around us. It's as if we're wearing dark glasses that only let us see the negative. Do you know why Padre Pio insisted so much on giving thanks before going to bed? Because he discovered that gratitude has a transformative power over our spirit. When we give thanks, our mind reprograms, our heart opens, and our life begins to change. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, everything becomes clearer. The practice of gratitude that Padre Pio taught us has three fundamental aspects. First, we must give thanks for the obvious blessings: our family, our home, our work, our health. Second, and this is very important, we must give thanks for the difficulties we face. Yes, you heard that right. Padre Pio said that trials are disguised opportunities for our growth. The third aspect, and perhaps the most powerful, is giving thanks for what's yet to come. Padre Pio taught us that when we give thanks in advance, we're manifesting deep trust in God's plans for our lives. It's like planting a seed of blessings for the next day. But how can we put this teaching from Padre Pio into practice? It's simpler than it seems. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on your day. Think of 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small things. Maybe a loved one's hug, a delicious meal, a resolved problem, or simply the fact that you're alive and breathing. Padre Pio taught us that gratitude must be specific. Instead of saying, "Thanks for everything," identify concrete situations. For example, now thanks for my son's call this morning. Thanks for the strength to face that challenge at work. Thanks for the peace I feel right now. When we practice gratitude this way, something extraordinary begins to happen. Our brain starts naturally seeking more reasons to be grateful. It's like training a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Padre Pio observed that people who practiced this form of gratitude before going to bed began noticing more blessings in their lives. Moreover, gratitude has a direct effect on our rest. When we fall asleep with a grateful heart, our sleep is deeper and more restorative. Padre Pio explained that this is because gratitude frees our spirit from the unnecessary burdens we often carry. A special practice Padre Pio recommended is keeping a small notebook by your bedside. Before going to bed, write down 3 reasons for gratitude. They don't need to be major events. Sometimes the most meaningful blessings come in small moments: a kind smile, a ray of sunshine, a warm cup of coffee. This gratitude practice that Padre Pio taught us is like a key that opens the first door to a night of peace and a hopeful awakening. It's the first step to transforming not only our nights, but our entire existence. The second word Padre Pio taught us to say before going to bed is forgive. This practice is essential for freeing our heart from everything that prevents us from truly resting. Padre Pio understood that many times we go to bed carrying burdens that don't belong to us. Have you noticed how the mistakes of the day, however small, tend to seem gigantic when we lie down? Padre Pio explained that this happens because our conscience naturally seeks peace, and this peace only comes when we're honest with ourselves and with God about our actions. But pay attention. When we talk about acknowledging our mistakes before going to bed, it's not about tormenting ourselves with guilt or regret. Padre Pio taught that this moment of acknowledgement must be an act of love toward ourselves. It's like cleaning a wound. It may sting a little, but it's necessary for healing. The practice of forgiveness that Padre Pio left us has several levels. The first is acknowledging our own mistakes honestly. We don't need to make an exhaustive list of every little fault, but identify those attitudes or words we know weren't right. It's a moment of sincerity with ourselves. The second level is asking for forgiveness with a sincere heart. Padre Pio insisted that it's not about a magical formula or memorized words. It's a sincere dialogue with God, acknowledging our limitations and our desire to be better. It's like talking to a loving Father who already knows our heart. But there's a third level that many people forget: forgiving ourselves. Padre Pio observed that many could ask forgiveness from God and others, but still carried the weight of self-criticism and judgment toward themselves. This step is crucial to completing the cycle of forgiveness. How can we put this teaching from Padre Pio into practice? Before going to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on your day, not as a harsh judge, but as a compassionate observer. Ask yourself, what could I have done better today? Whom might I have hurt with my words or actions? When did I not act according to my values? Padre Pio taught us that this exercise must be followed immediately by a concrete action of forgiveness. It can be as simple as saying, "I acknowledge my mistakes, and I commit to being better tomorrow." The important thing is that these words come from the heart, and are accompanied by a true desire for change, it's also important to understand that this practice isn't just about major faults. Sometimes it's the small attitudes that weigh most heavily on our conscience. A harsh word to a family member, a moment of impatience at work, a negative thought we nurtured more than necessary. Padre Pio explained that when we practice this nightly acknowledgement, something wonderful happens. We become more aware of our actions during the day. It's as if we turn on an inner light that helps us make better decisions in the present moment. This practice also has a direct effect on the quality of our sleep. When we go to bed with a light heart after acknowledging and releasing our mistakes, our rest is deeper and more restorative. Padre Pio said it's like going to bed after cleaning and tidying our inner house. The third and final word Padre Pio taught us to say before going to bed is trust. This seemingly simple word holds one of the most powerful acts we can perform before sleeping: the complete surrender of our worries. Padre Pio discovered that many people spend sleepless nights because they cling to situations they can't control. How many times have you gone to bed thinking about problems with no immediate solution? Worries about work, family, health, the future? Padre Pio understood that these worries are like chains that bind us, preventing us from truly resting. That's why he taught us a practical way to free ourselves from these burdens. The practice of trust that Padre Pio left us isn't a mere declaration of faith. It's a conscious act of surrender, the moment we decide to let go of everything that weighs us down. It's like emptying a heavy backpack we've been carrying all day. Each worry we surrender is a weight we stop carrying. But how can we practice this surrender effectively? Padre Pio taught us a simple but profound method. Before going to bed, identify the three main worries on your mind. Don't try to minimize or justify them. Simply acknowledge them as they are. The next step is crucial. For each worry identified, we must make a conscious declaration of surrender. For example, this situation at work that worries me, I surrender it. I can't solve it while I sleep, so I choose to trust. It's an act of wisdom to recognize that there's a time to act and a time to rest. Padre Pio explained that many times we resist this surrender because we feel it's a form of abandonment or irresponsibility. Nothing could be further from the truth. Surrendering our worries before going to bed is an act of emotional and spiritual intelligence. It's recognizing that we need rest to face challenges with renewed energy. A special practice Padre Pio recommended is visualizing each worry as an object we place in a box. As we close this box, we make a conscious act of trusting that solutions will come at the right time. It's not about denying problems, but choosing not to let them steal our peace during the night. This practice of trust has an immediate effect on our nervous system. When we consciously decide to let go of our worries, our body responds. The tension in our shoulders decreases, our breathing becomes deeper, and our mind begins to quiet. Padre Pio observed that people who practice this nightly surrender woke up with clearer minds and more energy. Moreover, this practice teaches us something valuable about control. Padre Pio explained that much of our nighttime anxiety comes from wanting to control situations beyond our reach. When we practice surrender, we learn to distinguish between what we can change and what we must accept. An important aspect of this practice is its regularity. Padre Pio insisted that surrender must become a nightly habit as natural as brushing our teeth. Over time, you'll notice that worries lose their power over you, not because they magically disappear, but because you learn to handle them more wisely. This third word, trust, completes the cycle of nightly practices that Padre Pio taught us. Together with gratitude and forgiveness, trust forms a protective shield that allows us to rest truly and wake up renewed, ready to face a new day with hope and strength. As I reflect on the profound wisdom of Padre Pio's three words, thanks, forgive, and trust, I'm struck by how such simple practices can hold the power to reshape our lives. These aren't just words, they're invitations to live with intention, to anchor ourselves in gratitude, to find freedom through forgiveness, and to surrender our burdens with trust. In a world that often feels chaotic, where stress piles up and worries creep into our quiet moments, Padre Pio's teachings offer a lifeline, a way to find peace not by escaping life's challenges, but by facing them with a renewed heart. For me, the lesson here is clear. Transformation doesn't require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It starts with small, deliberate choices made each night before we close our eyes. Saying thanks reminds me to focus on the good, even when life feels heavy. I've started keeping a gratitude journal by my bed, jotting down 3 things each day that brought me joy or taught me something. Maybe a kind word from a coworker, a warm meal, or even a tough moment that pushed me to grow. This practice has shifted my perspective, helping me see blessings I used to overlook. It's like training my heart to notice light even in the darkest days. Then there's forgive, a word that's harder to embrace, but so liberating once you do. I've realized how often I carry guilt or resentment to bed, replaying a sharp word I said or holding on to someone's mistake. Padre Pio's call to forgive, including forgiving myself, has taught me to let go. I now take a moment each night to reflect, not to dwell on guilt, but to acknowledge where I fell short and commit to doing better. It's like cleaning out a cluttered drawer. It creates space for peace to settle in. And trust, that's been the toughest yet most rewarding. Like many, I struggle with control, lying awake worrying about tomorrow's problems. But Padre Pio's wisdom has shown me that trust isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to rest in the belief that I don't have to carry it all alone. I've started a simple ritual. I name my worries, imagine placing them in a box and say, I trust. It's not magic, but it calms my mind, helping me sleep deeper and wake up clearer. These practices have become my nightly reset, a way to end each day with purpose and start the next with hope. What I love about Padre Pio's teachings is their universality. Whether you're juggling a demanding job, raising kids, or navigating personal struggles, these 3 words fit into any life. They're not tied to wealth, status, or even perfect faith, just a willingness to try. In American culture, we value action, results, and self-improvement, and that's exactly what this practice offers. A practical path to better mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I've noticed that since adopting these habits, I'm more patient with others, less weighed down by stress, and more open to life's possibilities. It's not that my problems have vanished. Bills still come, deadlines loom, and relationships take work. But I face them with a strength I didn't know I had. The biggest takeaway for me is that peace isn't something we chase. It's something we build one night at a time. Imagine if we all took 5 minutes before bed to practice gratitude, forgiveness, and trust. How much lighter would our hearts feel? How much stronger would our communities be if we woke up each day ready to face life with hope instead of dread? This isn't just about personal growth. It's about creating ripples of positivity that touch everyone around us. So I'm challenging myself and you to make this a habit. Start tonight. Pause before you sleep. Say these 3 words with sincerity and watch how they transform your nights and days. Padre Pio's legacy reminds us that change is possible, no matter where we are in life. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to take action right now. Hit that like button to spread this wisdom. It's a small way to share hope with others. Share this video with friends or family who might need a little encouragement. You never know whose life it could touch. Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss more life-changing insights like this one. And drop a comment below. Maybe share how you plan to use these 3 words or how they have already made a difference for you. Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step. Together, let's build a community of people committed to living with gratitude, forgiveness, and trust one night at a time. Let's honor Padre Pio's gift by putting it into practice and sharing it with the world.